It's so little time. I think we're live. I
I,
hope we're live.
it looks like we're live.
I think we're live. And you are on the Island of Relevancy. You're here on the Island of Relevancy, which does it still exist anymore? I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm going to die. Hang on.
The question that almost killed Frank.
All right.
What? I am one of your hosts. I am T. We got Frank in the building. Wrestlemania weekend just happened, Frank.
Oh my God. It was exhausting. That's for one.
Yes.
It was a little bit more exhausting for you because you guys watched a lot of wrestling. I watched a little bit of wrestling.
Yes, I watched every. I watched SmackDown. I don't remember anything that happened on SmackDown. I must admit, it was such a terrible lead up to WrestleMania. I really don't remember anything that happened. Like I was trying to think, and I just don't remember.
I mean, I vaguely remember. I'm looking now because I usually have it, and all right, really fast. We had oh, that's right. All right, so Seth Rollins started off SmackDown, gave a great promo. Okay, yes. It was great. Just him sitting in the ring gave a great promo. That was awesome, right?
Okay, I do remember that. Now you're sitting Indian style, giving the pipe bomb.
Yep. Yeah. Then we had the Andre the Giant. I have English. Then we have the Andre the Giant. Oh my God, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Oof, that's a mouthful and a half. That was cool. There were some good spots in it. Carmelo won. Hopefully, this pushes him up the ladder to where he needs to be.
But I hope so too. Yeah.
With what happened over the weekend, I don't even know because there's so much.
Yes.
Then there was some women division chaos in the ring. You know, Rhea was in the ring with Bianca and Io. Them disrespecting Io again, and then Jade was like, "Oh hi, I'm here," and everybody was like, "Why are you here?" And then it just descended into chaos, and it was awesome.
Naomi showed up.
It was great. That was a great segment.
Yes. Now you're bringing it all back now. Yes, I do remember that. That was actually a great segment because it showed that there's some potential there in the different dynamics that's going on in the ring, that was going on in the ring and with Naomi and Jade.
Yeah. It was the look that Rhea had when her music hit was great because nobody expected that. That was like the last thing probably that we could have had, like, oh my God.
Correct.
It was great. Then we had the tag team match.
Street Profits. That leads to a TLC match that's happening this Friday
on SmackDown.
It
might be the best thing the Road Dogg has done yet, if they pull it off right.
That should have been a TLC match.
I was going to say
on Saturday.
Why this should? Yeah. Hey, Ace, what's up? I don't know. SmackDown sucked. Okay. Then Nick Aldis told Chelsea Green that the 6-woman tag team match was off and it was going to be one-on-one, her and Zelina. And I know they're pushing Zelina. Hopefully it works.
Zelina Vega comes out to zero reaction now.
Yeah.
There was a time where she actually got a reaction when she came out. When her music would hit, people would react, but she can't. Part of it is the deaf rebel of it all, because
that isn't helping a single soul at all.
No, because her music's so generic. Like
it is. It just Zelina Vega won.
Yes.
And that's cool, but it wasn't for the belt. Randy Orton came out and had a little promo and had probably one of the greatest lines of the month, where he said that he's going to have just enough baby oil on him.
Yes.
He's look,
The right amount of baby oil, just the
Randy
right.
Orton is he's got it. He's just
He's there. Like, I think at this point in his career, he's there, and we'll
yeah,
talk about why a little bit later. But
yes.
he's just there. He's just like, I know who I am. I know what I've done.
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
I know I know why I'm here. And he just, yeah, like you said, he just gets it. He got it now.
And then we had what do we have? Blah 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 blah. LA Knight versus Solo turned into a tag team match with Jacob and Braun Strowman again.
A match that I could care less about.
Yeah,
okay.
Braun and LA Knight won, which again, teaser to what's going to happen. Maybe. Yep. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wade Barrett had an interview with Tiffany Stratton. That was a taped interview. That was okay. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they did taped interviews with, I think, Charlotte and Tiffany at different points, and both of them just tried to play it off as if what they did was a work. Like, but
I mean, that's the best way for them to go with it at this point. Somebody said that when Aldis makes matches, he should add playa at the end of his matches. At the end of it's what he's saying.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah. And then we had the LWO versus American Made. Look, the Creed brothers are really good. They're so athletic, but this feels like a match that we've seen so many times already. Right?
I don't like the Creed brothers are too good to be where they are, but it's not even on them. It's the tag team division. The tag team division on both shows are just kind of atrocious. We thought they were going to be good, like, because they have good tag teams.
They do.
It's just not working.
So the LWO won, but it looked like Rey Mysterio got injured. So we'll see what happens with that for WrestleMania. Is his match on? Is his match off? We don't know. And then we had another Cody Rhodes and John Cena face to face.
This one was really good.
This one was great. This is great. John Cena just unloaded on everyone. He called every other wrestler scared, insecure losers. Yes. He said, "I have love, joy, and worth in my life. I don't need a single damn one of you," to the fans. He said to Cody, "You will lose because you care about them. Losers don't write history, winners do." And he said a whole lot of other stuff, which was great. And then Rhodes came back at him. Rhodes came back at him hard.
He did.
He called him. He said, "You called me underwhelming. Well, you're overrated." My favorite line. My favorite line was when Cody said, "You're paler than Sting at Starrcade 97. I was dying at that.
Great line.
And then he said, to sum it up, he said, "The whole world saw you saunter around butt-ass naked at the Oscars for the people you run errands for now." Cena went to attack him. We had a crossroads. Could not telegraph things any more than that. I really wish that changes at some point. That that
the person who gets the move.
Yeah,
before
switch it up now and then.
A little bit now and then.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be all the time, but switch it up now and then. And that was how the night ended. It was a weak show overall. For your go home show before the big main event, you didn't have anything. You had a lot of video packages, and you didn't have any maybe put more people that aren't wrestling on the card the night before. Like, I get that's the Battle Royal. And then you had the 4 or 5 hour Hall of Fame after that.
Where everybody looked like they were sleeping. Like that's the best part of Hall of Fame was the pictures of everyone just looking like they were dying.
So I didn't really watch all the Hall of Fame.
I didn't watch any.
I could sum it up really easily for what I watched. I watched Michelle McCool. She pontificated a lot. She did a lot of pontificating. And then I watched Triple H's induction. I did watch the Stone Cold Bret Hart match induction,
Bret Hart, yeah.
where CM Punk was like backing away from them while they started drinking beers. And Bret Hart, there's a nice meme going around of Bret Hart showing supreme disgust when Triple H came over to shake his hand.
I wonder what that's. Well, Sean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I watched Triple H's thing, and it didn't get over till. I didn't watch it live. I went and watched it the next day. It didn't get over till 4 a.m.
And that's what time the stand and deliver guys had to show up.
Right.
That's insane. That's insane.
Triple H's story was good. I really did. I enjoyed listening to him, but it's like, if you watch wrestling on a regular basis, this is all the same stuff that's in all the other documentaries, except some of the stories about on the road with the Click. And that stuff was cool, how that started and all that. And I didn't, maybe I'd heard it, I didn't remember. I enjoyed it. I was more excited to go slap kendo sticks around the next day.
Yeah.
You saw some video?
I did. That seemed like a really painful time, and I'm glad I wasn't invited.
Saturday was fine. The Sunday version of it was a little bit rougher. My friend wound up and like took a baseball swing. I wasn't expecting it and hit my shoulder, and I saw stars, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Oh man,
he likes his whiskey. So it was a nice. And then like for the next half hour, dude, you all right? Dude, you all right? I'm like, I'm fine. I really was okay. It just for like that second that you get hit with it, I was like, I could do this for a living.
Hey, run the ropes.
I gotta learn.
That's the hardest thing.
I gotta learn.
But before you started off speaking about the Hall of Fame ending at 4 a.m. But 4:30, I think it was the time where the NXT youngins had to be at the arena to get ready for Stand and Deliver, which delivered a lot better than Night One did.
That's I paid attention to your chat. You and Kenny and some of the other guys were talking about it, and I was peeking in and out. It sounded like a hell of a time.
It was a great show. I mean, it started off. There was a four women's tag team elimination match, which I really think they need to start doing more of. Was elimination match, 4 tag teams to see who gets a world title or a tag team title shot on Tuesday, which was yesterday.
Right.
And I don't remember. I didn't see anything. I didn't watch NXT yesterday, so I don't know if Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley won. They fought against Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley and JC Jane, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, and the Meta Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They won in this Fatal 4-Way. It was actually a really good match. Everybody got their stuff in. The crowd was super into it. It started, I think, at 11. I think it started at 11 a.m.
Yeah, it was early. I remember it was early when I saw the chat light up, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, it was early. So that was the opening match. And then we had the NXT North American Championship, Ricky Saints. I was about to call him Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page, all ego loss. Good match. Once again, like those 2 first matches really had the crowd invested. Then Axiom lost the NXT tag team titles to Hank Ledger, or Tank Ledger and Hank Walker. And there's so many good tag teams in NXT, and Hank and Tank beating Axiom, who is like the number 1 tag team of last year, is kind of blasphemous, but at the same time, it was a really good match. Like Axiom can't put on a bad match if they try. Hank and Tank really, they remind me of Heavy Machinery. I don't know if you watch NXT like that, but they're
no, but
like
I've seen
Otis and the other guy.
Yeah.
they remind me of those 2 guys. And then we had a 6-woman ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Women's title. So Ruka won in one of the greatest finales to a ladder match. So Ruka did this thing where she held herself Like she did a handstand at the top of the ladder to keep her balance after somebody tried to throw her off.
Oh shit.
She then flipped over to the other side, flipped off. I don't know if you've ever seen Soul Ruka, but her finishing move, the Soul
Mm,
Snatcher, is the greatest finisher in wrestling.
really?
It's phenomenal. She did the Soul Snatcher off the ladder. Then she hit two women with the Soul Snatcher off the top rope. It was insane. She won the North American Women's title in a banger of a ladder match. Wasn't the
Nice.
best ladder match, but the finish was just super hot. And she won that match, which kept the show going. And this
Okay.
show, there was very little lulls in the show. The next match probably was the biggest lull. We had Dark State beating the D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo got stabbed in the back by Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Actually, a really good angle. They did it really well. It was well choreographed. The way he turned on them, but it was a good tag team match. I mean, it was a 6-man tag, good 6-man tag. Everything just moved, and that's the thing about NXT. They're all young, so they're all just it's nonstop action,
Right.
which
Which is
I'll
good.
get back to on night one when we
Yeah.
action. The next match was the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Stephanie Vaquer, versus Jordan Grace and Jada Parker. Stephanie Vaquer won. The highlight of this match is Booker T calling Stephanie Vaquer's.
I have seen that meme. I have heard that video
It
so
is
many times. And then I understood why Michael Cole said it on Monday.
on
Which
Monday.
we'll get to.
That's probably the highlight of Stand and Deliver was that call by Booker T. It was so
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
That's the best.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
But Stephanie Vaquer won that match, and as you'll see on Monday, Stephanie Vaquer really is next. She's she's actually a little older. I think she's 29 or 30.
Okay. That's still
She's
young for wrestling, though.
it is still young for wrestling. But like a lot of the other women in this match, they're Jordan Grace, I think, is around the same age. But Jada Park, I think, is like 23 or 24 or something like that. And I think Julia might be around the same age as well. But they still have a lot of years ahead of them. And
Right.
Stephanie Vaquer has shown that she's just kind of proven that she might be, the next one to come up and do some damage on the main roster. And then we had the main event, the triple threat, Trick Williams versus Obafemi versus Javon Evans, which was one of the greatest triple threats I think I've ever seen.
I was reading you guys chatting, and you guys were so hype about all that. I almost turned it on, but I didn't.
If you have some time, I would watch this because Trick Williams, I love his gimmick. I love his entrance. I love the music. Whoop that trick. That's all great. But
right
when the bell rings, I could be honest, I'm not ever that impressed until Saturday.
Okay.
Like he showed up and he showed out. Javon Evans is an amazing athlete. Obafemi is an amazing athlete. These three guys put on a banger of a main event. Obafemi won to retain, but nobody lost in this match. Actually, I think Trick Williams' stock skyrocketed because he was doing some moves I'd never seen him do before. He was doing some very athletic stuff in the ring, and I hope he continues that because then when he transitions to the main roster and him and Mello really needs to become a tag, like I think that is their way to go. Is those two, if those two become a tag team, I think they become one of the best tag teams in WWE.
Okay.
I really hope they go that way because I don't think they're going to do anything with either one of them as singles guys. Honestly, because you've had enough time with Carmelo.
Yeah.
But that concluded Stand and Deliver. At the end of Stand and Deliver, they gave this thing about Worlds Collide, about AAA and NXT. And then you sent out the message in the chat saying Triple H had an announcement for the pre-show. And I said, I'm not about the 6 to 4 hour pre-show. And then they made the announcement almost immediately that the WWE had purchased AAA, which is pretty huge.
Now, the woman that was sitting there looked like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
She was a Bond villain.
I don't
Straight
know
up.
if you remember, there were in the 80s, they had like it was like a female puppet.
Yeah,
I can't remember the
I
name.
know what you mean. I know
You
what you
you
mean. I don't
you know
remember, but yes, that was
Yeah.
yes. Now there was a rumor that came out today that I saw wasn't true, but I haven't looked into it, so I'm not sure. Because the champion down there is Alberto Del Rio, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And the head booker down there is Conan, formerly of
I
WCW, or he's
yes.
real involved in the creative. The rumor coming out today was that Alberto got fired or released,
Yes.
but then a number of rumor came out and said, no, that's not true. I know he's suspended for 180 days for a fan altercation.
Mhm.
If he gets fired, I wouldn't be upset. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's a great announcement.
I said that immediately when they announced that. I said the joy in all of this is that
Yeah.
WWE gets to fire Alberto Del Rio again because I think he's a terrible human being.
So do I. He's an awful human being. But I watched a little bit of the pre-show here and there. I was just trying to like get to my friend's house. We had some good food. We had some good drinks. We had some kendo sticks. And night one happened. And it happened. And we're going to run through the matches for you.
I wanted night one to be good so bad. Like,
okay. I did too. And again, biased because I'm here in Philly. Philly WrestleMania 40 showed out. The wrestling showed out. The stadium showed out. The city showed out. It's two different stadiums. You're enclosed, so you would think it would be louder, but you're more spread apart. And at the Lincoln Financial Field, it's an open air stadium, but you're a little bit more on top of the field than you would be. And Philly's a loud crowd to begin with. You night two when I went, it was loud. It was loud.
So night one last year was quieter.
It was quieter because it was cold and rainy.
Because it was cold. Because
Yeah.
it was cold and rainy. Yes, that everybody and that was my biggest takeaway from night one. It wasn't that it was a bad show.
No,
it was cold. You could tell.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and they kept mentioning it on commentary.
Mhm.
It's like it's really cold, and it was cold where I was. So I was like, I know it's cold in Philly. So I'm like,
there were heaters above the ring, right? And night two, really fast. One of the best parts of night two was when the crowd started chanting about the lights. So they had lights shining into the crowd, and everybody started yelling, "Turn the lights out!" And because it was blinding the crowd, and they turned them out, and it was fun. Before we get into matches, to touch on Ace's comment real fast. He said it's his first time watching WrestleMania in years. Saturday's main event was a lot better than Sunday's. 100,000 1,000,000%. And we'll get to that in a minute. The first match of the night on WrestleMania Saturday night, hey Savius, what's up? What's
going on, Savius?
Heavyweight champion Gunther versus Jey Uso. I thought it was a good match. I thought they told a good story in the ring as opposed to having a banger of a wrestling match.
I disagree.
You didn't like the match?
I thought they wrestled.
Okay.
But they didn't tell a good story. Because
Fair.
If they would have told a good story, we would have saw that finish coming. And nobody saw that finish coming. And that to me, and it was so abrupt.
It was
bad storytelling.
It was very abrupt. Jey Uso got his win. Jey Uso wins the championship belt. Like, that's the thing that everybody saw coming. Also, it wasn't a surprise that Jey won that match. It was just a surprise at how fast that match ended up going from wrestling to the finish. Yeah. That one was fast. I personally loved it. Let me tell you what, there were no incidents that I'm aware of in Philadelphia during WrestleMania weekend. I just want to tell you that right now. I had no issues getting out of there. I was safe and sound. I'm right here. See, no problems.
Right.
I got a lot of high fives. I had a Hulk Hogan shirt on. At that point in time, I got a lot of high fives. It's a different world now. If I had that Hulk Hogan shirt on, I might not get all the high fives. Then again, at that time of the morning, as drunk as everybody was,
Yeah,
I'm
you
still
were
getting a
getting a
high
high five.
five. I, I'm not shocked that he won. Nobody is shocked that he won.
Yeah.
I actually think there are a lot of people shocked that he won, but the initial video that came out of him winning got 16,000 dislikes right away. The
Of
internet
course it did.
sucks. The internet's
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, the internet's stupid. One thing I will say, I will take away from that match is Gunther should never, ever, 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 ever do a frog splash ever again. Ever.
That
Never,
wasn't a
never.
frog splash.
I
That
don't know
was
what
just
that was.
Gunther jumping off the top. That used to be his finish. Like he finished
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
matches with that because he's just a big man. When he was heavier set too, he would he just sprawls on top of you.
But as a heavier set man, I think it would look better. It just looked like slow motion. He was like, stop.
You know, one of my biggest gripes, I think, with that match that kind of took the crowd out of it was how long Jey Uso's entrance was. He took forever. I think they miscalculated
I
how
do
long
too.
it was going to take. And by the time he got to the ring, they had been singing and they'd been, doing the yeet thing for like 6 minutes. It took longer than Undertaker's entrance. It was so long, and it's such a high. Everybody's up, everybody's doing a yeet.
But he had this. He started from all the way back there.
Yes, correct. At the top. I was like, this wasn't well thought out.
No,
man.
It was still faster than another person's entrance on Sunday night, but again, we'll get there. The second match of the night was a match that I cared nothing about and was just yuck. Thank you, Ace. Usually I have a Yeet shirt on. I wore a Yeet shirt on Saturday night. It was my shirt. I'm a huge Jey Uso fan. Second match of the night was the World Tag Team Championship, the War Raiders versus the New Day.
They had the War Raiders come out looking like, I get it once they said this was a Clash of Clans, because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, this is a Clash of Clans thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
it looked dumb. It looked terrible.
So much advertising.
Correct. Get that money. Like,
really?
Don't get me wrong. Get the money.
They should have just walked down to the ring, rang the bell, handed the New Day the belts, and walked to the back. That's because you knew that was the outcome too. Also, because the New Day have been stale as heels, aside from some decent promos here and there, they've been just flat. Maybe this props them up. I'm not going to lie. I expected some shenanigans during the match. I expected a Hardys coming. I really did. We get no Hardys. We get no shenanigans. Straight up.
Yeah, New Day won with cheating, of course. Kofi held his leg.
And it was a dead crowd. The crowd was dead for this match. Maybe they were tired from all the yeeting.
Like War Raiders, they have their spots, right? The War Raiders the guy hits the cartwheel, he hits the handstand off the ropes into the back elbow, the big knee from I don't remember. I don't know who's who, Eric or Ivar. I really don't know which one is which. It's irrelevant. But they have their spots, but every time, and they have high impact spots too. So generally it gets the crowd going because they're bigger guys, but the crowd could care less. Even when the New Day did their shtick, the crowd could care less. They were just not into it at all.
No.
And that took me even more out of the match because it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't, but just nobody cared.
No.
Like that was the biggest thing. Nobody really cared. The New Day won. They ran up the ramp as if they had just stolen.
They did. They stole.
Like, okay.
And that's fine. They're the heels. That's how they're supposed to win.
Yeah. Like the way they ran the ramp as if they were gonna take the belts back. I thought that was funny. It was so awkward because it's such a long ramp too.
Yeah. But then we had a match. Then we had another match that brought the crowd back.
They did.
Which
they did.
Again, if you're conducting a symphony, down, back up. Jade versus Naomi was a great match.
It was.
One thing I read that I didn't know, this is the first non-title singles match between two women at WrestleMania since Tori Wilson battled Candice Michelle at WrestleMania 22.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know there was one before this.
Yeah. So, Naomi came out, spectacular entrance. Her music was tight. I'm glad she's moved away from the glow stuff because I think this is a great, like, again, the same thing happened with Bayley. Bayley did the hugging and all that. And as soon as Bayley went away from the hugging, she jumped up. And I think this is the same thing's happening to Naomi. She's jumping up. Even though she took the loss, I think it was a great match. And it was a great showing for both of them. Jade had a great entrance too.
Yeah, I don't think anybody lost this match. Like, I think both of them came out big, brighter on the other side because it was the first good match. Like, honestly, to me, this was the first match where the crowd was truly invested.
Yes.
Even in the Gunther and Jay match, until Jay won, the crowd just, even at the end when he hit those splashes, the crowd got up, but it felt so off, man. It was bad. But yeah, the crowd was really invested in this match. I could see.
Jade had Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel doing a spot before. I didn't know what was going on at first. It was neat. It was neat.
It was a little off brand for her, but at the same time, it was a cool way to bring her out because it just seemed a little too silly because she always seems like a very serious character.
Yep.
And that was just like a very lighthearted thing, but it worked. I mean, I thought it worked.
No, it worked great. And then we move into another match that I thought was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. LA Knight, United States champion versus Jacob Fatu.
Dare I say this is LA Knight's best match he's ever had? I think so. I mean, in WWE, I would say in WWE, this is the best match he's had.
He just has such good chemistry with Fatu. It was a really good match, start to finish.
It was.
I thought that there was a spot where LA Knight jumped up on the ropes and grabbed Jacob and did an overhead German suplex off the top rope. Absolutely amazing spot. Both of them are so athletic.
The spot where Jacob Fatu tried the moonsault and he hit him with the BFT, that was probably that came out of nowhere. That was a great spot too.
That was one of those spots that got me to stand up and go, whoa.
Yes. And that they put on a really good match.
And our boy Jacob won United States belt. I don't know where
there was no way.
Goes.
Yeah, I think there was no way that Jacob Fatu was going to lose because they would have got heat on LA Knight. They would probably booed the end because Jacob Fatu is over. Like everybody loves him.
It's like the same way as another heel that is so incredibly over right now.
Correct.
Correct. I want to see the backstage. You know how they did that WrestleMania 40, like the backstage documentary that took like months and months and months to come out because The Rock probably had to have final say over it and make sure he was in the center of it all. But there's those moments you see, like when Jay won the Royal Rumble, there's backstage footage of Jacob when Jacob was against him still, hugging him and handing him the shirt. I want to see Roman back there hugging his cousin for winning the belt, hugging Jacob I want to see that stuff. It's so wholesome to see that stuff. And I enjoy when they break that wall down and see that.
We'll see that in about 8 months. The
Rock doesn't have to have final say over it this time.
Oh, we're going to talk about The Rock a little bit later.
Then we had what was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. And Rey's hurt. So we get Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. I'm going to tell you what. It was a fun match.
El Grande Americano couldn't put on a bad match if he tried. Like, he really couldn't. This match as good as it could have been? Yeah. No. But it still was a very fun match because you have two great competitors in the ring. And I think the next time that they fight, we're going to see they're going to have more time to put on a bet because they're going to have another match for sure.
Oh, absolutely. There was a little thing before the match though.
What
Was
thing?
that when the dude kicked him in the face? Was that there? The guy from AAA that was there on the side in the crowd?
Oh, Vikingo.
Yeah, I
Yes,
couldn't think of his
yes,
name.
because he came out there. Yeah, he came out there and got in his face.
Right.
So my question to you, I do have a question.
Yeah, yeah.
If I was wearing a mask
Mm-hmm.
and I put a piece of metal inside my mask,
Mm-hmm.
when I headbutt you,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna hurt me too, right?
Not if you have the superpowers that El Grande Americano has.
Okay,
Any
got it.
other normal human being, yes. If you or I did that, we'd be unconscious. But because he is El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America,
Makes
he
sense.
has these superpowers
Got it.
that allow him to not be hurt by that piece of metal under his mask.
It makes perfect sense. Now that you explained it for me, I appreciate that because that I because
That's
me as a normal human, like
correct.
I get it. I'll probably be busted open. Yeah,
Correct. I got hit with a
got it.
kendo stick and my shoulder hurt, right?
Yes.
That wouldn't hurt El Grande at all.
Because that's why he won the match. Because he
Exactly.
is
He put
impervious to most
he
pain.
put the metal in, and what I hope happens is I hope they have a string of matches with him, and it ends in a mask versus mask match. And
Oh
he
yeah,
loses.
it's for sure that is for sure how it's gonna end. It's gonna be a match versus match. It's probably gonna be a SummerSlam,
That's
and then
fine. Draw it out.
against Rey Mysterio. It'll probably be against Rey Mysterio. But yes,
All
it
all
is definitely gonna be a match versus match.
all jokes aside, though, he deserved that win.
Of course, that's why I wasn't mad. There were people.
No.
There were a lot of people who were upset.
No, not at all.
But I'd never get upset when Chad Gable wins at a big stage.
He has
Like,
been
I'm sorry, El Grando. You know.
he has been a workhorse for so long. And I think I wonder if you're going to get a Vikingo El Grande match at some point.
Oh, for sure. It might be a Worlds Collide. That might be the main event because it's an NXT AAA thing.
Mm-hmm.
So getting El Grande down there, that's the main event.
I think
that match would
down
cook.
There. I think he should be able to sneak down there.
Oh yeah, of course. It's so close to the Gulf.
So then we move on to the women's championship match, and I'll tell you what, I really did not know which way this match was going to go. Tiffany Stratton, the champion, versus Charlotte Flair. Up to this point, including Charlotte's entrance, I was not blown away by any of the entrances. Not even Jey Uso's entrance. None of these, like, you have this monster stage, and there were no blow me away entrances. Charlotte pulled up in a car, got out of the car, had a great robe on. She always does. Tiffany's entrance was better than Charlotte's coming out of the Barbie box.
Yeah,
she had a Tiffany epiphany, and that was what she needed to do. I'm okay with that. It was a good match. It was a stiff match. It looked stiff.
Towards the end of that match, they both looked like they were dying.
Yep.
And it wasn't because they lacked cardio. It's because they were really trying to hurt each other.
I think so.
Like I really feel like that match, good match, not as good as Charlotte versus Rhea.
No.
But it was a good match, and they really did. And some people were saying Charlotte was sandbagging her. I don't know how true that was.
I don't know.
But they both look like they really they both wanted to upstage each other. It felt like, but at the same time, they did it. It was professional, but it was stiff. Like they didn't pull any punches.
Nope.
At some points, it looked like it could have gone off the rails. It stayed within its realm, and the right person won. Like I think the right person won. I don't think Charlotte needed this win as much as Tiffany needed the win.
No, and I think Charlotte losing was a good move also, and I think it propelled them both. I think it did good for Charlotte to lose because now you're not like it's not like she's Becky Hogan or Rhea Lesnar, but it's okay.
It is.
I don't
It
hate,
is.
I don't dislike either of them. Let me just be clear on that. But we'll get to those in a minute.
We will get to those. Just Rid, thank you so much for popping in. How you doing?
What's up, my man?
Uh,
It was a good match. It was a good match,
it
and I think
was.
it did great for both of them going forward. I'm really curious to see if they're going to run it back at Backlash, or if if there's going to be another direction.
I'm very intrigued. I want to see what happens on Friday.
Mm,
They should have another match at Backlash because you don't need to jump into another feud.
no.
So I did hear that at the roast, Nia Jax went completely in on Charlotte
Oh,
and
really?
like said some wild things, like wilder than what Tiffany Stratton said about Charlotte. So I don't know if that's going to lead to something or not.
This
But
this whole roast thing not being televised, they took the phones before they went in. Like there's got to be footage of it. Like there's
yes,
got to be some footage of it, but they didn't televise it. Nothing. That was some now more than ever after Heyman showed up on McAfee. I
yeah,
want to see what was said at this roast more than anything in the world now.
we're gonna get a dark side of the ring of this roast
Please,
in like 5 years.
please,
They're gonna have a dark side of the ring and
please.
how this roast might have broke up the industry because
Oh,
they said it was a lot of like shoots of
yeah.
wrestlers coming out there and just saying some
Yep.
outlandish things in the vein of it being jokes, and that's what a roast is. Honestly, like
I
people really do say personal shots at
I
roast.
I love roasts. I'm a huge fan of roasts. I love to go back and watch the roasts. I love them. Um, what's up, Matt? Um, then we get to the main event of the night.
Yes,
We get to the main event of night one, and Rid, we'll talk about Drew in a minute.
we will get to Drew.
The triple threat match. Seth Rollins' entrance was fire. Fire.
Literally,
Literally.
literally.
Him dressing down, him coming out with a flamethrower in a black flame retarded suit, I'm assuming. That's
Right.
why, look, hey man, be safe, right?
Correct.
And then him taking that off to the white Messiah suit with the sunglasses with the thorns on the side, like a crown of thorns.
So when the spotlight was on him and he was the way he tilted his head up, I thought he had a crown. I was like, please don't do that.
Oh,
That
do that on Easter weekend.
on
Please
Easter.
do that.
No,
Yes,
they would have
I'm for
canceled.
it.
They would have canceled WrestleMania. Man, oh my God, they would have came in. Oh, poor
You know what?
WWE.
Given what happened with the main event the next night, maybe canceling them would have been great Saturday night.
Perhaps.
So
Man,
Seth comes out, Roman comes out. So just
great entrance for Roman.
Typical Roman entrance is great. I have no problem with my tribal chief. I acknowledge him.
I thought the pictures of all of the bloodline behind it, that was once again chef's kiss, man.
There, yeah. No Ulafala. Wait, no, he didn't bring it up.
He wore.
He
No, he
wore
wore
it
it.
that night.
Yeah, he wore. Yeah, he wore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was right. And then CM Punk comes out in his OG gear. I know you're not the biggest CM Punk fan.
No, I'm a
OG
Living
gear,
Color fan though.
Cult of Personality playing. I think it would have been better if they played his original entrance music, but I'm not mad about his entrance. For him, I enjoyed it. He was soaking it up. He was living it. It was a great. The three of them had the best. It was the best.
Yeah.
And then the match was just, oh my God. This was the main event. This was worthy of a main event. This is going to be one of the top 5 WrestleMania matches in the history of WrestleMania, in my opinion.
So much depth, so many layers, so much story being told, but also really great wrestling.
Yes.
Like it would now. Once again, I said earlier that Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Javon Evans put on one of the greatest, if not the greatest, triple threat because they're so young and athletic.
Yep.
But they didn't tell that same, like what those 3 guys did in that main event was phenomenal. Seth getting in Roman's head half the time. Roman finally losing it and just power bombing everybody through the table. Like that. CM Punk was just oblivious to it all, and him and Heyman having their shtick. Like it all worked
It
so
did.
well for that match.
Rollins countered a spear into a pedigree that was a jaw-dropping Randy Orton-esque RKO moment.
Yes.
The Shield Bomb tease was like the crowd. They had the crowd eaten out of the palm of their hands. And I told you, even though they were different tables, when they finally break the table, I said it was going to be a moment. And Roman power bombing each guy into a table, that was the moment. That was it. It was beautiful.
Great match. Like I once again, I don't think anybody lost in this match.
Well,
because I mean okay, touche. The finish, right? We get that we have this beautiful match. And up until now, I would have honestly said that Bobby the Brain Heenan was probably the greatest heel manager of all time.
that's
Like
a
Bobby the
fair.
Brain Heenan really he was a heel through and through. Like that just was it was in his DNA to be who to be the brain.
Yep.
Paul Heyman is the greatest wrestling mind / heel manager / wrestling personality / pretty much the inventor of the WWE style that we've had since 1991. Like he created a lot of this.
Yep.
What he did at WrestleMania when he started crying after CM Punk, had him in the chair. He starts crying. Then he goads him into going after Reigns, and then he hits him with the low blow.
It reminds me, I can see him sitting there like in the original Superman movie where Lex Luthor's sitting there and goes, "I'm the greatest criminal mind of our generation." That's Paul Heyman. I am the greatest heel manager of any generation now. The low blow to CM Punk and then yelling at him that you made me choose. You made me choose. I thought for a minute, okay, he's staying with Roman. Hands Roman the chair.
No,
Roman takes him out. And then there's Seth.
Go get Seth. Yeah, go get Seth.
Yeah. A payback chair shot. It's right there. I thought, okay, we're going to get it. And then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman rubbed the tribal schlong a little longer than most people would expected him to do it. He got in there and wiggled it around a lot. He was like drawing a picture while he was down there. I don't know what he was doing. He was down there a while.
He was.
But my tribal chief, well-endowed man, a simple shot will not do for my tribal chief. You have to really get in there. And even though you knew it was coming and you could see the way they telegraphed it and he moved them, it was perfection. It was so well executed. Rollins didn't have to say a word. He just held his hand out like a microphone.
Yep. Like that was the chef's kiss, was Rollins just standing there with his back to him because he knew that even if Paul didn't say anything, he knew he was going to take the shot and he knew Paul was going to shoot him down.
Yep.
Chef's kiss. Didn't move. He just stood there and he put his hand out and he gave him the chair. And I said, man, you know what?
You win.
He's the best wrestler on the planet. I say this all like Seth Rollins. I mean, him and Will Ospreay would be the greatest match you'll ever watch in your entire life. But Seth Rollins is my guy. Like I'm a Seth Rollins fan. He is a visionary. He is a revolutionary.
There are three things guaranteed in life. And I've seen this quote many times: death, taxes, and Seth Rollins hitting Roman Reigns in the back with a chair.
Yes. he got another shield moment. And that's not being talked about enough, is the fact that Roman Reigns is the guy, right? We all know Roman Reigns is the top guy. We all acknowledge our tribal chief. He is the face of WWE. Seth Rollins has always had his number. He's always been the Randy Orton to Roman Cena. Like he's always been.
Long-term storytelling.
Yes, he's always been that guy. They're gonna have a one-on-one match probably next year at WrestleMania,
I could see
and
that.
it's gonna be a generational. Like the stories that they're gonna be able to tell in a one-on-one match, like the Rumble that they was it last year or was it year? It was a few. Nah, that was probably like 3 or 4 years ago where he came out in the Shield gear. Like that's
Well, he did
Seth
that
in
last
his head.
year. Oh,
Was
he
that
did
last
that.
year?
He did that in a match against him a couple years ago.
Yes, yeah,
But he also showed up at WrestleMania 40 in the Shield gear.
in the Shield gear.
And
Yeah,
the Shield music popped, and everybody in the crowd was like, "What?" He even name dropped Moxley again in the ring.
of course he did.
He
Like
held it at
they're
Roman.
intertwined.
I
They're
love it.
intertwined. Mhm.
I love it.
Matt, you couldn't be more wrong. Seth
I
has
agree with Matt.
always been interesting.
Matt is also a monster CM Punk fan, so you guys have beef.
Yeah, yes.
You guys have beef.
But great way to close out night one. That really saved night one was very ho hum. It had solid matches, but it didn't
Yep.
feel like WrestleMania.
No, it didn't
until the main event. Like the main event really saved night one and really saved WrestleMania, because if the whole entire night one was just mediocre or medium, then going into night two, why do you care? I honestly wanted to drive up to Vegas because I know they didn't sell out. I wanted to drive up to Vegas to go to WrestleMania night two. I could have made it and I could have bought a ticket. That's how good the main event of night one was.
I agree.
The fact that I was going to drive to WrestleMania, but on the strength of this match.
A year ago, one of my close friends told me he was getting engaged, or he did get engaged, and his marriage, he was going to Vegas to get married. He was going to do it WrestleMania weekend, and we had started to plan. He was going to book all the room. He was going to book the rooms. I was going to start paying him. Not unlike the time I didn't pay Matt for months, but that's a different story. And I was going to go out and meet him. He got fired like 3 months later. He's an over-the-road truck driver. He got fired. All the plans got canceled. I'm kind of glad the plans got canceled, because as much as this match would have been great, night two was okay. There were some really good matches on night two. There were better matches night two than night one overall. Should have flip-flopped the main events, but we'll get to the main event in a minute.
Yeah, but honestly, if night two's main event was the main event for night one, would you have came back for night two? Like
I would have, because
you're a fan.
But the first match of night one of night two picked up the momentum.
Correct. And it had to. So let's go ahead and jump into that. The triple threat. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus the women's champion, Io Sky. This match, it was like if you carried over what you had from the main event of night one into the first match of night. It was almost like there was no break. Oh, these guys just put on a banger. Let's go out there and put on a banger.
Yep.
And they had and this might be a little controversial, they had a better wrestling match than that men's match.
Yes.
It was better wrestling, not better storytelling. It was great storytelling.
Right.
But it was a phenomenal wrestling. And I say this all the time, like Bianca Belair, to me, is the greatest woman wrestler to ever lace up boots, because she can do it all. But Io and Rhea ain't no slouches, man.
I think I like Io better as a wrestler because Io's smaller and can get in there and moves around faster. But I mean, honestly, they're all 1A, 1B, 1C. Like, especially in this match. Bianca they were all fabulous.
There was no missed beats in this match. There would, like, everybody just put on a great show. And Rhea we joke, we call her Rhea Lesnar, but she shows up though for these matches.
Did you notice she got the loudest pop coming into the night? Bianca got booed. There were a lot of boos for Bianca.
That's a sore spot for me, Frank.
I understand.
So I do understand why, because Rhea's like the most. Rhea and Becky are probably the two most over women.
Yep.
That Trish is probably up there too, as far as like just being over. Like their music hits and just this instant pop. Like no matter what, the man's music hit. We'll talk about that later. Rhea's music hit, but her music is built for that. Like it's built to get you there.
And it's not Def Rebel.
Thank God.
That's why it works.
But man, going Bianca really it irks me because Bianca has done nothing wrong. She did play it up in that match though. Towards the end, she went to some, the interaction she had with Rhea where she started slapping her. It was like, you don't work harder than me. I felt that because like that felt real. It was like, you don't work harder than me. You're right.
Did you notice as Io was celebrating and Bianca was laying on the ring when they showed her? Did you notice? Wasn't anger. It was anger.
No.
Oh, she was pissed.
No.
And for good. And what I mean is she's turning. She told a fan to kiss her ass at one point. She don't do that.
Oh yeah, she did. She did that. Like she's definitely turning. She's definitely turning.
She needs to. Again, like I said earlier, like with Bailey when the hugger and she needs to turn now and side with Naomi.
Correct.
She needs to pull Naomi in to help her get over a hump. Oh,
don't become a tag team
for you. Now
don't be the tag team. I don't want them to be the tag team champions. No, please don't.
They need to be friends that help each other. They don't have to be a tag team. Yes. I thought it was probably the best match of the night.
Correct. I did too. I definitely thought that was the best match of the night for night 2. Going in EO won in one of like that was just a fabulous finish. I loved the end of that match. And EO is just so like you can't help but love EO at this point. Like you can't help but love EO. All right, Matt, we're going to talk about Bailey's interview a little bit later when I get to
a couple of them.
When we get to Becky Hogan towards the end of this thing. The next match, I thought was probably two of the best entrances of the night.
Even though
Drew McIntyre. Yeah. Well, Drew's was was an ad, was a promo for Doom, the Dark Ages, because they showed the video game clips right after it came out. And then Damian Priest came out with a Kerry King from Slayer.
Yep.
Playing
awesome.
as an intro.
That's great.
I love live music. I remember Shinsuke had
the violin,
Nina
right?
Strauss.
Yeah.
He had the violin for one of the NXT takeovers. He had Nina Strauss play him out on the guitar.
That's right.
Which is one of my favorite entrances of all because his music is dope. And then having somebody play another story for another day. Great match.
Yep.
This was like Big E says, 2 big men slapping meat.
Yep.
And
I didn't get what I wanted.
What did you want?
I wanted a Roddy Piper driving a car moment. I wanted somebody running somebody over with a car. I didn't get that.
I mean, you got to tweet. Like Drew took a selfie.
Dude, my man taking selfies 2 years in a row.
Yes.
And he did it twice in this match. Bored at work. Still bored at work. Like, he's got it.
Yes. I love Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, like someone Kit just read asked the question about what do you think? Thoughts of the future of Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is the guy they really should put the Rocket. I mean, they have because he's everything he does is high profile because he's made it that way. Like he's become the workhorse. He really has become the workhorse. He carried last year. He carried up. All of the guys were injured. CM Punk was injured. He carried a whole feud with an injured superstar.
Yep.
He became the bloodline hunter. And I mean, he's great.
I think he goes after Jay now.
Oh yeah, he should. As he should. I don't think he should beat Jay. Not yet.
Not yet. I think Jay needs a little bit of a run. I don't know if Jay, maybe to SummerSlam. Definitely through Backlash.
Boo. Boo. He did not know he couldn't beat CM Punk.
That's pretty funny.
But that was pretty funny. Highlighted this match to me, Damian Priest. Stop doing this, Damian Priest. Stop doing this, Ricky Saints. Stop trying to do the old school.
Yeah.
It irks me. It really does. Like, that's the Undertaker's move.
It is.
Like, let's retire the old school.
I like the way Ray Phoenix does it because he doesn't walk slowly across the ropes. He runs across the rope and kills you.
That's not old school.
No.
Like, he's not twisting your arm and no, Damian Priest.
What happened when Damian tried to do it this time?
He got thrown to 2 tables. Like, Drew pushed him as he should have. I really hate when people do old school. Like, I really do. And I'm not even a move guy like that, where it's like,
right.
Oh, don't do his move. But old school is sacred, especially at WrestleMania. Like, you don't deserve. No, I love you, Damian Priest. You're from New York City. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing old school.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Because he threw him right. That was the highlight of the match to me. Then he killed him when he tried to get back in the ring with that Claymore. Like, that was one of the most vicious ends to a match. Like, that was like, all right, I won this match. Because he destroyed him with that Claymore through the chair.
Yeah,
that was a great finish.
He committed murder.
Yes. Drew deserved to win at WrestleMania. Damian Priest didn't deserve to get murdered.
I mean,
but Drew definitely deserved to win.
Technically, he won last year until he didn't.
Oh yeah, he won. I love that storytelling too.
Yeah.
How it kind of, hey, after all of my losses, you were just there to pick up the scraps, and that was a good comeuppance at WrestleMania where the bad guy, got the final say. Speaking of bad guys, this is what they in the industry call a segue to the next match, where we had that fatal 4-way, where we both said this. We both knew what the outcome of this was going to be. We had Braun Breaker.
Not just the outcome, but I gave you the finish, the exact finish. Paul watches our show.
Of course.
Mr. Levesque watches our show. And even though he had his whiteboard with what he wanted that they showed in the video for the behind the scenes documentary, he watched our show. He heard what I said and how I said a finish should be. Thank you, Paul.
He was like, that's a good idea. Let me steal that. Because I hope you get a check. I hope a check just shows up to your house. Thanks.
I would be happy with 300 followers right now first.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was great.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody got this stuff off. Finn Balor doesn't get enough credit for being as great as he is. He is a great professional wrestler. Penta is a great professional wrestler. Braun Breaker is the next big thing. Literally.
Braun Breaker is good muscle.
Yes, great muscle. And then Dominic Mysterio, this was his coming out party.
Yep.
The pop he got when he won was amazing. Then he runs back down to the ring because it lived that moment, man. That like, everybody don't get those WrestleMania moments.
Nope.
And it was refreshing. I wish he would have came out in the jail car like he did a few years ago. That was one of the greatest entrances I think I've ever seen.
I missed that whole little storyline.
That was, oh God, that was such a great entrance, man. When he came out.
It was beautiful.
Oh man, such a great. Whoa, 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 whoa! I mean, he is terrible math. He had a 129.2% chance of winning,
He did. And that's okay.
and he didn't win.
That's okay. This was a great match. This was a great match all around.
Yes.
Braun Breaker once again committed murder outside the ring.
Oh my, yes. How could I forget?
I think he just loves the spear Carlito. I think that's like I don't remember Carlito actually wrestling a match in a long time, but he has eaten a lot of spears.
You know what? Let's give Carlito his flowers, right? He came back and his character, like he was going nowhere. They put him in the Judgment Day. He has really taken that ball and ran with it.
Yep.
And he's become the comic relief, which some people hate that. They hate comic relief characters. I love him. I love Carlito just being around, being goofy. It looks like he's having a good time.
I like him as much as I like R-Truth doing it.
Yes.
Only R-Truth is a level above everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, yes. But he because when he left WWE a long time ago, he was very bitter. He's very angry.
Sure.
Rightfully so. I mean, he's younger. Like he's an older guy now. He understands the business. He's probably getting paid quite handsomely to be there, get checks, call it whatever you want, being in catering. But he makes very good use of his minutes.
He does.
You put him on the screen, he does what he needs to do. He is a great worker. So I want to definitely give Carlito his flowers. Man, there's no chance. Raquel, the way they treat him is hilarious too. Like
it is. And then when you see them talking like off camera, like behind the scenes, they all talk about how much they love him. Like he's just a great guy.
Right. Yes, of course.
The finish of this match, which I dictated.
You did.
Pretty much line by line.
Move for move.
Almost. Finn gave the coup de grace to Breaker, right? Was it Breaker or Penna?
No, it was Breaker.
It was Breaker. He gave the coup de grace to Breaker and pinned him. And then out of nowhere,
a high frog splash. Like Dom got up there.
He got some Street Profit. He got some Montez Ford.
Yeah, he did. He got some Montez Ford there.
I'm sure the adrenaline was flowing. And he rolled up pin and got the 1, 2, 3. And it was perfect.
It really was, man. And it I don't know if you saw the video of Liv.
I did.
Like that. I mean, Liv was looking like Liv. Looking like Liv, and she was just living life in the backstage, and she was so happy for him. And like I love that moment. Like we're gonna see that in the backstage of WrestleMania. I love that moment. That was a great moment for Dom. He deserves that moment because he has been one of the MVPs for WWE for the last few years because they've given him everything they've given him, and he's organically become himself. He's organically become, Dirty Dom.
Well, that's the same way Eddie did it.
He's
following Eddie trajectory.
He sure the hell is, man.
And that's really fine.
It is.
Just don't go on the roids.
Yeah, please no.
Stay
healthy. Yeah.
Stay like you are.
But yeah, that was a great WrestleMania moment, which led to another pretty good WrestleMania moment.
This might have been one of my favorite moments of the night. Of all the matches, this was one of my favorite moments.
It was. Randy Orton's music came out, and Randy is in such a good place. I don't think this happens 10 years ago. I don't think this happens 15 years ago.
No, probably
Randy Orton probably like, no, I'm not doing this. He's the vet. He's a 14-time world champion. He comes out there, everything goes silent, and then that door opens up and Joe Henry's music plays. And this guy's career has just been made because the crowd went insane.
Biggest pop of the night, I think.
Huge pop. Him and Rhea, probably neck and neck as far as pops. The crowd went crazy. Imagine that. You're a TNA guy. Their pay-per-views, they were here at the local Coliseum that holds probably 1,200 people for their last pay-per-view here in El Paso. you're in front of 60,000, 63,000, as they said that attendance
They
was.
lied.
It
That's okay.
probably.
That's okay.
But you come out there, everybody knows your song. Everybody's waving their hands when it's time to wave your hands from side to side. Like that was a moment, and Randy made him by not treating him like he was nothing.
Yep.
Like Randy bopped his head to the music. He was impressed. He looked impressed that it was this guy. Like, oh, this guy. He didn't look upset.
Nope.
He went with it. But you're not going to embarrass Randy Orton. And
No.
I thought that was such a great.
I don't think it was an embarrassment to TNA's champion to get down with an RKO. I think it actually elevated him.
Of course.
Because not only did he get an RKO, he stood him up. He turned him around to the crowd. He gave him all the flowers, waving to the crowd, and then he RKO'd him again.
And he did his shtick.
He did his shtick. He patted him on the chest. He did his shtick. And I think him doing the shtick was a little bit of a nod to him.
Yes.
I think
it wasn't an insult because it's so over. Like you're in the moment. Like it's, man, that turnaround is so goofy, but it works so well.
The song's goofy and it works.
Yes. Everything about. Now, while one thing that I noticed immediately when Joe Hendry got in the ring with Randy Orton is it's like the minor leagues and the major leagues.
Oh,
because Randy Orton was so much bigger than him. And it's like, I mean, Randy Orton's bigger than, I would say, a good 80% of the roster, but it was like he was so much bigger than him. It's like, this is your guy.
Did you notice after the first RKO that Joe Hendry was smiling?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was loving life.
Bro, you just got made by Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Yep. Like,
and Triple H told him in the back, now the work begins for you. You'll be back. And he's old. Joe Hendry, 36 years old. He's an older guy. I'm all about it.
I'll say you still got 5 good years in you, man. Like you still at least 5 good solid work.
You could main event a maybe not main event, but you could be part of WrestleMania.
You could be an opening match. Like, I mean, if you can't main event, it'd be the opening match.
Nope.
Like if you can't, be the opening match.
Yeah.
But you're right. Eddie lied cheated and stole his way to the top. I think I really hope they don't break up Liv and Dom. Speaking of lying cheat, I hope they keep those two together because they work so well together.
I think what you saw there is going to be the beginning of Finn going face.
I hope so.
I think the Judgment Day is going to stay evil, bad, and because Finn's on the outside right now, as we'll talk about again in a minute. Because we had a short night 2. It felt long.
Yeah.
But it ended at a half an hour earlier than night 1.
The next match, which I really thought was going to be the match of the night, wasn't a bad match because AJ Styles can't put on a bad match even if he tried.
Neither can Logan Paul.
I would say, neither can Logan Paul. This match just didn't hit a third gear, I felt. Like they did great, incredible. They did their shtick. Logan Paul is just a great heel.
Yep.
Like he totally gets it. His entrance was so dope. Like he comes out with the drone. Like at first I thought it was just a camera.
No,
and then it's a drone.
That was badass.
Man, that was to me, that was probably the best entrance of WrestleMania because of just the innovation. And then it comes back to him at the end, like when he's in the ring, bro. He just gets it.
I want one.
Yeah. And then he put it in the corner and he waited, and then some point during the match he goes and gets it and is flying around as he does his frog splash on. He needs to stop doing the Nikita Lyons leg drop. That irks me. That's probably the only thing I don't like that Logan Paul does, where he does the split leg drop.
Yeah.
Stop doing that, but he does it, of course, to get heat. Like he definitely does that to just piss people off.
I mean, the lion salt was beautiful. Chris Jericho hasn't done a lion salt like that in years.
Man, he's a story for another pod. But like Jericho, who might be coming to the WWE.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
But
it was a
go
good
ahead.
match, and Karrion Kross getting involved. Look, my man deserves a push, huge push.
I hope he don't get fired, man.
I don't
Because
think he's going to get fired.
he did
I
that.
don't. He did light up some stuff. I listened to Sam Roberts in the morning, and you know the way Sam played it off this morning, and you know we'll sneak that in again in a couple minutes. Karrion jumped on his morning after show, his morning recap show, and just lit up everything.
Everybody.
There's a
Alan.
little mini
He
pipe
kept
bomb.
calling him Alan, which I think is funny.
But this match wasn't okay. I mean, you got a bunch of bangers in a row. There's bound to be a little bit of a letdown. Not a bad match. No, not a bad match at all. Until we got a little bit of a worse match.
Yeah.
This was 3 swings and misses in a row coming up.
This was destined to be a bathroom break match. We had the women's tag team title match. Before I go into this, I just want to say, Liv, you deserve better than this. Like I've given Liv Morgan so much crap over the years, from the Riot Squad to like she just always seemed like everything about the match she had Ronda Rousey when she became the women's champion the first time, feel good moment, and then she just had a string of terrible matches during her reign, and I've just given her crap. No more, because she is the MVP. She was great in this match. We had the tag team titles, her and Raquel against a returning Becky Lynch, and Lyra Valkyria.
It was easy to see where this was going. Not the finish, but the overall point of this. Unfortunately, it had to come at Bayley's expense. Because Bayley got screwed out of this match. She was not hurt.
Correct.
They just removed her from the match storyline wise to give this. If this works out the way I think it might work out, this will be good.
Have you seen the Chris Van Fleet Bayley interview?
The one part of it that I needed to see, I saw.
Yeah. So yes. I feel bad for Bayley.
So do I.
I didn't want to see her and Lyra Valkyria in this match at WrestleMania anyway.
No, and
but it makes it worse.
The only logical outcome to Bayley and Lyra being in this match is for Bayley to turn on Lyra and go full heel. The only logical outcome of Becky coming back to fight with her Irish sister, you know, I mean, it couldn't have been any more obvious who was going to be her partner at this point.
Correct.
Right? The finish was dumb.
Correct.
I understand why. You understand why after watching Raw, but at the moment, the finish was dumb. Actually, after the moment, the finish is still dumb.
I would say after Raw, it made it even dumber to me.
It does. It does. Becky and Lyra win the tag team belts, which
crowd loves it. Crowd loves
Becky. I mean, she got a huge pop when the door popped open, and that's fine. You know, you need these viral moments. But there was no reason for them to drop the belts. Now it makes them a 4-time. Okay.
Very, very disappointing. I was just extremely disappointed in the match.
Yep.
I don't think Liv deserved this.
Nope.
I mean, you win the belts back, and we'll get into that in our Raw recap. But man, this was a waste.
Who attacked Bayley? I guess we're gonna say it was Becky.
Yes,
right? That's the
which
only
makes no sense. Makes no sense. Let me go to WrestleMania to become a tag team champ. Like, is that the only belt she hasn't won? Maybe.
Yeah, because no, she's won the tag belt.
She's been the tag
Intercontinental belt that she hasn't won because only one person's won it. That's the whole reason. Anyway,
that makes my head hurt. Which is a great segue into the main event of the night. The match that was widely regarded. you could have argued for a lot of matches to be main events of night one. There was no argument what was going to be the main event of WrestleMania, and it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. They've put on some banger promos.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes is the ultimate babyface. John Cena has become the ultimate hated heel. It is for the WWE Undisputed Championship, which the WWE is now retired. The
Undisputed.
uni-
Universal.
the Universal champion, and
So
my tribal chief, your tribal chief, is the last
they
known
retconned it
champion.
back.
And we got John Cena, who is going for his 17th world title against Cody Rhodes. The entrances, John Cena came out to a black screen with John Cena on there, still in his jorts. He walked down, took his time.
John Cena's entrance was beautiful. The production assistant that came out to set the pyro up while John Cena was walking down was a huge, huge, huge blunder. She just needed to wait a couple seconds.
That's all she needed to do. I was like, man, you just messed up the video package for the next time.
You just scrub her out. But I thought John Cena's entrance was beautiful. Everybody expected over the top, flashy, something big. And he's been telling you all along, you people are not listening to the last real champion. You're not listening. He's not giving you anything. And he gave, and on the same note, it really sucks that his last WrestleMania appearance is going to be that's his entrance, but it fits everything.
It did. It did. I had a huge issue with Cody Rhodes' entrance.
Why?
Because the production screwed it up. Right?
Did they?
So I think so. Because they start blasting this random music that you've never heard before.
Yeah.
Which is fine, right? And we start getting a motocross. I thought that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And the music kept going. And then Cody starts coming out of the ground and there's no pause. Because part of the mystique is the doom doom.
Yep.
Wrestling has had more than like that's part of his entrance.
Yeah.
It all didn't flow.
No.
They started revving the mute. They started revving. Like by the time he got up, it dope entrance. It just was a little production issue. It was just a little production issue. I don't think it was synced up properly.
No.
It probably worked perfectly.
That damn PA.
Yeah, but that's my biggest gripe. Cody came out looking like $2 million. The helmet was iconic.
Oh, the Iron Man. The
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Opens up. Cody's in there. Cody looks fired up. He looks great with the belt. Like he just looks like a champion. He came down there. We get kudos to Alicia Taylor. Everybody loves Samantha Irvin. Like rightfully so. Samantha Irvin was this Howard Finkel, Samantha Irvin, Lillian Garcia. That's my hierarchy of the greatest ring announcers that I think we've ever got. Like nobody beats the Fink, right? Like the Howard Finkel, some of the most iconic, legendary calls.
100%.
Samantha Irvin's great. Everybody loved her. She left. Alicia Taylor's picked her game up. She looked phenomenal. But she gives just these great championship entrances or introductions. Then 100%. We get into the match.
Yeah, I hate this match.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes carried this match. Look, John Cena's old. He's not. His last match was Elimination Chamber. Cool. But if Cody really carried this entire match,
it was a slog. Like there was moments John Cena does the one shoulder tackle and then he just hams it up. And then he does the second shoulder tackle. Like I got it. Like I understand John Cena's older. Like he's never going. The last matches he had with The Rock were terrible because because The Rock couldn't go the way The Rock used to. Like understand it. That's why it should have been more shenanigans, right? You
You
could
would
have
think.
had anybody come out there.
I mean, they were selling shirts that finally The Rock has come back to Las Vegas. So surely the final boss is making an appearance, right?
Surely.
Which
Like
final boss?
before this match happened, there was a wreck that happened in the ring. Before the train wreck, there was another wreck.
Dude.
The glass shattered. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, and I instantly was deflated. Like, because I knew that means that he wasn't coming out for the main event.
Yep.
Like, I knew that. The glass
Not
doesn't
only were
shatter
you
twice.
deflated, but that poor woman.
Yes. That poor woman.
So he messed up twice.
Yes.
He missed the ramp the first time behind the seat, I had to back up. And then as he's speeding around the ring, he looked over to showboat to Pat McAfee and slammed into the barricade. And that woman is going to just sue them for everything, even though she was not hurt. There's no way she's hurt.
I'm hurt. I'd be hurt. Shit, I was.
Oh, I would be hurt too.
I'm having a full cast.
At that point in time, I wish I was the person that had the coffee spilled on them from McDonald's.
Yes.
Right.
Boy, I got a full body cast. I got a halo on. Like, I'm coming. Man, I'm hurt.
Yes,
like
me
psychologically
too.
and physically. But yeah, so we get this. The match was slow. I understand, like, that's the Triple H psychology, right? We all know Triple H matches with the ring psychology. That's just code for slow. Yeah, that's just code for we're working slow. And it was a terrible match. Cody Rhodes took 4 AAs. He took one off the top rope.
Yep. There were some okay spots.
John Cena hit him. He exposed the turnbuckle, hit Cody Rhodes in his head twice, then hit him with an AA. Cody kicked out.
Yep.
Travis Scott comes down, and he takes
still coming down.
Yeah, he takes an Undertaker minute to get down to the ring.
Longer than Undertaker minute.
He took forever to get down. He gets down to the ring, tries to hit Cody. Cody turns it into a Cody crossroads. John Cena gets the belt. Oh no, Cody has the belt. Mm-hmm. John Cena says no. He starts praying to him. And this is the moment where Cody Rhodes' career probably just went. He might turn into Stardust next week.
Look,
like
there was. Go ahead.
I'll say that. I think that is a career-defining moment for Cody Rhodes in the worst way. He was getting booed already at this point. Like, they were booing him throughout the match. And I blame that on John Cena. Like, I don't blame that on anybody else. John Cena turned their cash cow babyface. Now every crowd's going to boo him because that's what WWE crowds do. They're idiots.
Yep.
Who have to, it's cool to boo him now. So let's boo him. Just like Bianca. That's what it reminded me of. It became cool. It's cool to boo Bianca now. It's going to be cool to boo Cody.
Yep.
And that's just ruining the cash cow you have in Cody Rhodes as far as baby faces.
But The Rock's still coming out, right? Because the T-shirts said that he came back to Vegas, right? So The Rock's still coming out at some point.
I thought at some point he would. John Cena gets the belt, hits him with the belt one time. After he lowball. Did he lowball him?
He lowballed him. He lowballed him.
Because
Cody didn't see it coming.
Yeah. John Cena hits him with the belt. 1, 2, 3. In the most lackluster ending to one of the most lackluster matches.
Dude. There was so much wrong with this match. On one hand, and I try to look at the positive. I try to find the nugget of where are we telling a story. Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling for everyone. Man, you did not have to ruin that match.
Yes.
Travis Scott hits him with Travis Scott got no receipt for the ear slap.
No.
Interfered in the match. No disqualification.
Nope.
No Rock. No shenanigans other than a 45-minute Travis Scott stroll to the ring.
Yes.
Nothing. The end of that match left everyone just, wait, what? Like, Cena won like a heel. Cool. That part of the story is fine. Everybody knew Cena was winning. My shirt from the WWE shop that says Last Real Champion still hasn't shipped yet because they were waiting to ship the shirt that they're selling on their website until after he won the belt. Cool. Everybody knew it was coming. It could have got there a better way. I'm not the biggest Cody fan. Cody did everything in the world to make that match something good, and it's probably going to go down as one of the worst matches in the history of WrestleMania.
Yes.
And I'm sad by it. I felt deflated. I left my friend's house maybe half hour after it was over. And normally I would stay and hang out. It wasn't like I was depressed. It just felt like all the air came out of the room.
It did. It did. The arena was just like,
yep.
You're happy John Cena won, right?
Sure.
We all knew he was going to win.
Absolutely.
He deserves to be to be the guy. He earned it.
Yep.
Like let's be clear. This is no shade on John Cena.
No.
He's older. I knew he wasn't going to be able to put on a great match with Cody.
No.
That's why I was happy The Rock was somewhat involved, because then I was like, all right, shenanigans city, right? Let's bloodline rules. Let's make something. Let's get let Solo come down there and hit people. Like, I don't care what you do to make this more entertaining.
Yep.
Make it entertaining. You didn't need, like last year, you didn't need all the shenanigans because you had 2 elite wrestlers. This year is the time you needed the shenanigans because you don't have 2 elite wrestlers. You have an aging wrestler and Cody Rhodes, who's a great wrestler.
Yep.
But yeah, the ending definitely left me deflated. I loved the shot of Cena holding up the title, but everything before that was just, nothing else happened after that. It was like you expected something else, like, because it was so lackluster. You was like, this can't be the end. This can't be it. Like, it has to be something else. There was nothing else.
Yep.
WrestleMania 41 ended with John Cena as your champion. Then we got the Raw after WrestleMania, right? We had a whole 24 hours, and I was nervous. I'll be totally honest. I was terrified going into this Raw.
I was at the Raw last year, and it was a real letdown.
Yes, correct. I would say the last 2 Raw after Manias have been real.
Yep.
Because we just became accustomed to Raw after Mania being just insanity.
Yep.
Like, anything that could happen would happen at the Raw after Mania. This one, there wasn't so many surprises, and it doesn't have to be.
No.
But you have to move the story. Like, Mania is over. Like, Triple H did the little meme where somebody slapped the new off season's over. It's time to, bro, that's funny. But not after that Mania. Like, not after WrestleMania 41. That's not a good joke to do after this WrestleMania.
No.
They made a ton of money.
Oh,
there was a lot of ads.
Sure, it was
It was a big advertisement. That's what WrestleMania has become.
A lot of merch.
A lot of merch being sold, a lot of money being spent. It wasn't a sold out crowd, but Triple H probably made more money this year than they made last year.
Yeah, I think
because everything's more expensive.
Yeah, we had more people here in Philly.
Yeah.
We had 142,000 over the 2 nights. They only had allegedly 124, roughly.
The tickets probably was doubled.
Oh my God.
That's where we're at. Like, that's why it doesn't matter if they sell 500 tickets or 5 million tickets. They're just going to upsell the 500. But we get to the Raw after Mania. Cena opens the show.
It was good. It was good.
I thought it was great. I thought the dates.
Oh, the date thing. That was some good psychological shit right there.
Yes.
I don't have 27 more matches. I have 27 more appearances where I'm going to do just this.
Cena he comes out there. He's the best.
Yep.
He's the greatest of all time. What I didn't see happening.
No.
what what I didn't predict this
Nope.
at all.
I thought this was more SummerSlam or something way further down the line, maybe his last match.
But Cena was gloating and he was holding up that title, and behind him there was a Viper.
Yes, there was.
And Randy Orton just came. I mean, and you showed the video of him sliding. It slid from just like a Viper, just slid from under the ring, rolled into the ring, and stood up and coiled.
Listen,
and he caught
that poster now that we saw for Backlash with Randy and the Vipers around it makes sense. St. Louis. Now we know Randy ain't winning.
No.
And that's okay.
No.
That's okay.
He's beat Cena enough.
He has for now. I thought the opening was good. I thought it was a good start to the night. I was a little late watching it because our podcast, the Geek Spot News, ran like 15 minutes past 8, and I was having Netflix issues. You saw me in the chat. I was ready to burn the world down. I could not get my Netflix to rewind. I couldn't. It was a mess. I was a mess. But I did get to start the next match on time.
What was the next match? That was Becky.
The next match was Lyra and Becky versus Liv and Raquel in a rematch where Liv and Raquel regained the belts, and Becky predictably turned on Lyra and beat the piss out of her in the middle of the ring. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Just to make sure we all knew.
The crowd just one more time.
Right. Because she's over.
Liv Morgan deserves more than this. Like Liv Morgan carried that match.
She did, and she's got the belts back. Okay.
I don't want her in the tag team division anymore.
I'm
over this.
If Becky goes, Becky needs to go where I hope she goes. That will make this worth it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Because then we get a celebration in the ring, right? We get the New Day to come out and celebrate their tag team title victory. But before we can get really into the celebration, the Alpha jobbers come out.
I said if Alpha Academy comes out there and takes those titles off a New Day, I would really stop watching wrestling.
I didn't think that was going to happen, but I definitely did not expect Rusev to come out and destroy them.
I didn't see that coming either.
Nope. Good that he's back, I guess.
Great that he's back. Apparently his hot and flexible wife is back as well. She signed a Legends deal. I'm assuming she's going to be his valet. I really don't think she needs to be.
No.
I respect AJ. I think that's her name. Yeah. I think that is her name.
I don't even know what her name is.
CJ. I'm sorry. CJ.
That's it. CJ. Okay. Now I remember.
I respect her. But I don't think Rusev needs her to be the character I need him to be. I don't need Lana to come out there and announce him.
They set him up to be a badass, and that's fine. Unfortunately, at the expense of Tozawa again, who is actually a really, really good wrestler.
I love Tozawa.
Poor Otis.
Poor Otis. They're gonna have a great match though.
Sure.
Rusev and
Otis will be a good match.
Otis is gonna have, they're gonna have a great. They're gonna have a
man slapping meat right there.
Yes, they're gonna have a great match because Otis puts on great matches. Not a big fan, but he puts on good matches.
I guess the next segment was probably one of your favorite moments of the night.
Which one was that?
This was Io comes out to give her celebration of her championship. Right?
Another moment I didn't see coming.
Nope.
Stephanie Vaquera's music hits. She comes out there. I'll be totally like the first time I saw Stephanie Vaquera, I was like, oh man, okay. There's this person in the ring. She fought Mercedes Moné in AEW. And I saw that match and I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Vaquera's grown on me. One, she is extremely easy on the eyes.
Yes, she is.
I'm a fan. she can go.
Yep.
Her and Io put on a damn great match. Io is turning into the prototypical babyface, and everybody loves her. And I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
She comes out there, she smiles. She was smiling the whole segment, right? She
Yep.
I'm happy
Even
to be here. I'm the champ, right?
even during the fighting,
Yes.
she was smiling, and that's
Huge
fine.
smile on her face.
It was a really good exhibition for the two of them without the animosity.
Yeah, I'm a baby face. I'm a heel. Nobody's ever. We're just here because we're two of the best.
Yep. And they both
We
got
want
their big moves off. Stephanie got her move off that Michael Cole said if Booker T were here, he'd have a heart attack.
Yes. And then
no contest.
I feel like as bad as I feel for Bayley, I feel for Roxanne Perez.
Yeah,
because they don't know what they want to do with Roxanne Perez.
No, because she came and interfered in the match, and
she
then,
came out.
Go ahead.
She interfered.
Yep. She started attacking Io,
and then Julia comes out. And Julia is now become a tweener. And then Mommy came out.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And I really got interested because a match between Rhea Lesnar and Julia is a match I want to see. Like, I want to see that match. Like, when they stared at each other down, I was like, please fight right now. Like, right. I want to see this match right this second.
Yep.
I need that match. That's getting us to that's what the Raw after Mania should be. Get us to what's next.
Exactly. This is a new season. The new season started. I'm okay with all that, and I'm okay with it not be you knew there had to be something to happen. It couldn't.
Correct.
You can't have a winner with Stephanie and Io right now, and that's fine.
Correct.
They put on a great exhibition, and then the next three women that came out, even though Rhea Lesnar came out, that's still fine. I don't need Rhea in a title picture. Bring Julia up if you have to, and have them fight, or send Rhea over there to fight her over there. That's fine. I'm cool with it.
I don't need Rhea in the title pit. And I think part of that segment was her kind of letting it go.
I hope so.
Because at the end, she grabbed the title, she gave it to Io.
Yeah.
And part of it, because she had this really somber look. Yeah, she did. She had this really somber look, though. And I think that's her, I probably won't be seeing this for a while now.
There's a fan video of Rhea when she was leaving after the WrestleMania match, kind of staggering up the side of the ramp, and she stopped, took a pair of glasses from someone that said Yeet on it, and she was kind of dizzy, and she just kind of went and then handed the glasses back. She's great with the crowd. I do like her. I just need her to go away from the title picture.
Correct.
And then we had another moment that I was actually really, really on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was really kind of not sure where they were going. Jey Uso came out to get his celebration on. Okay. Then Sami Zayn came down, and everybody's expecting it. Here comes the turn. Here comes the turn. It was a wholesome moment from Sami, and then Jimmy Uso came out, and I'm like, oh shit, there's going to be shenanigans.
I got nervous when Jimmy came out.
So did I.
I was like, are they really about to do this?
I'm glad they didn't do it there. You gave Jay his moment, but I'm telling you, Sami was side-eyeing him a little bit. And maybe that's just me reading into it, but that's going to be a banger of a match when it happens, because Sami's going to turn.
I wanted him to turn.
So did I.
Because I want to see that match. Sami, heel Sami and a babyface Jay.
It's good. It's good for
There's
everyone.
So much history there. Yes. And Sami can't put on a bad. All right, Gunther couldn't put on a bad match before Saturday either. But I don't think.
But Sami hasn't been able to win that belt.
I don't think he wins it now either.
No, I don't think so.
He can't be the guy to take it off Jay.
No.
He can't be.
It's got to be. He needs to win it. It's got to be Drew, I think.
Yeah, he needs to win it. But he can't be the guy to take it off Jay.
There was a sign in the crowd that said Hogan fears unions.
Yes.
And there was a sign in the crowd, Karrion Kross needs a push. I saw that a couple times. Sammy can't be the one to take the belt off him. Drew needs to take the belt off him. Not yet.
I don't think either one of those two people are going to take the belt off him.
Who do you think is going to take it off him?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Then we get the next match of the night. We get Dirty Dom's first title defense against Penta. It's a pretty good match.
It is. Dominic Mysterio has grown into being a really good wrestler.
Yep.
Like he's they've beaten him up for so long. He's a great seller. He knows how to sell the hell out of a match.
It's 20 years.
Now he's moving. Yes, he is. Now he's moved into like he gets it. And Penta's a great wrestler. Like those two have really good chemistry too.
Yep.
Like they really, really work well with each other. So I hope this is like, I don't want to see, a Jacob and Braun type situation where they're fighting each other every week, but I hope this is not the end of it. Like,
no,
I hope they get some more matches under their belt. Cause I think at a pay-per-view, a singles match between those two is going to cook.
I think so. This was an interesting match because Finn and Carlito came down with them, right? There was a little backstage talking, and Finn was all about, we're brothers. If you couldn't win, if I couldn't win, you win, blah, blah, blah. And Finn tried to help, but it didn't go his way.
Nope.
And then out of nowhere, the biggest forehead in wrestling showed up.
The hugest head that you've ever seen on a small body.
You could land a 747 on my man's forehead without any issue and still have room. Okay. JD McDonough showed up and saved the match for Dom. And after the match, they all came down and celebrated, but Finn was just pushed aside.
They look so happy. Like the judge when Raquel and Liv came out and they had their belts and they were they looked so happy. It was such a great moment. And then Finn comes in looking looking dour. Like,
I got nothing.
Yes.
That's why I think that the Judgment Day isn't going to break up, but Finn moving away from the Judgment Day and feuding with them a little bit is a good idea. Finn versus JD will be a good match.
Great match.
Yeah.
JD's a great, JD really is such an underrated wrestler. He is a damn good wrestler.
Now, before that match took place, we had a very angry German man come down to the announce table. And listen, man. If an angry man, much bigger than you, much stronger than you, gets in your face, you don't say, I'm not the one that tapped out. Michael Cole's been in the business a long time. He knows better than to say dumb shit to the wrestlers. So Gunther, by all rights, was angry and tried to choke him out. And then Pat McAfee did the most unthinkable thing in the world and jumped at him and threw a forearm right in Gunther's mush. And then Pat McAfee died on the floor because Gunther made him purple.
Yes.
Yes. Selling or not, I think Gunther put a little bit into that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. You got to make it believable.
And then all Pat's boys jumped the railing. And so the next day on the Pat McAfee show, which I don't normally watch, but I watched just because I wanted to see this, Pat was talking shit to The Rock because he interviewed The Rock, and he was talking shit about the security. Why is all the security holding my boys back and nobody's talking to me and helping me out? I'm dying on the floor. And thank you to the Hurricane. Thank you, Shane Helms, for checking on me, but everybody else ignored me. And
he made a great point.
Trying to hold my boys back.
I mean, one, The Rock encouraged that.
Yes.
which I don't think you should do. That's a dangerous precedent.
It is.
Precedent.
It is. It
Like
is.
I everybody knows who they. Well, a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't know who they were when they
No.
first jumped over.
No. Because it
Because
looked
if you,
real.
yeah, like if you're not a Pat McAfee guy, you have no idea who those people are.
No.
And I'm not a Pat McAfee guy, and I just so happen to have watched the Pat
Right.
McAfee show with
The Goon Squad.
Paul.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, these guys are jumping to help him. Makes sense story wise.
Yep.
Great segment though.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
I thought that was great. I
Yep.
think it's setting it up for a Gunther versus Pat McAfee match.
Probably for Backlash.
I don't know.
Unless they wait to SummerSlam, which I think that's in Indianapolis.
Backlash is going to be in St. Louis. Yeah, SummerSlam is going to be in Indianapolis. Yeah. Oh, they're definitely going to do it there then.
Yeah. And then we had a little AJ Cross in the back. That should be a match. That'll be a good match.
I need Cross to get in better shape, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like I need Cross to look like the $1 million that he's talking like. He talks great. He just doesn't look great.
Cross is working them hips out every night though.
Bless his heart. God, Scarlett's so fine, man.
And then we have the final segment of the night, right? We have the Visionary.
He's a visionary. He is a revolutionary. He's Seth freaking Rollins.
And Seth freaking Rollins came to the ring with Paul Heyman, who walked behind Seth Rollins with the creepiest look on his face. He gave him like I'm gonna rape you after this face. Like really, like there was some scary eyes. Okay, Paul plays creepy really well.
He does.
But they talk for a minute, right? Not too much. He didn't really get to say too much because the old man had to come down and get some revenge.
He did.
And T's favorite wrestler CM Punk came down and
got what was coming to him. He got what was coming to him. Right when he came down here.
And then they pulled up the credits like that was it. Like the little logo came up in the side of the screen, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we ain't getting nothing else." Oh, hold on.
His old music hit, which was weird,
and he came down without the Ulafala this time. But he always said, "When there's no more wise man with me, there's no more tribal chief." Now we have Roman Reigns. Now we have the OTC, but we have Roman Reigns. If they're doing what I think they're doing with Roman Reigns, and you're breaking Roman Reigns down to nothing, you're taking everything away from him. Your cousin has gold. You have no backup. You have no wise man. You're going to break him down to his most vulnerable so that he can come all the way back up and build himself back up. I love it.
I do. I just don't like the old music, but that's a small thing.
OTC comes out, hits Ron with a spear. Then he gives Heyman a Superman punch.
And he's about to kill Paul Heyman.
He's about to kill Paul Heyman. But he did the ooh-ah a little longer than he normally does. It was like a beat or two longer than normal. And I kind of was like, I wonder who. Oh, that's who.
There was a badass who rolled into the ring wearing a hoodie.
Heyman, earlier on Pat McAfee.
He did.
In an interview that might get them all fired at some point. And I would like to talk about that. I know we're running almost 2 hours, and I would like to talk about those interviews maybe next time.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman did say that one of the questions asked to him was, Seth has dad duty sometimes, and he's not always there. What are you going to do if you're alone? And the whole crowd behind him started barking.
He said he might have to go shopping.
He might have to go shopping for some muscle. And it looks like Paul Heyman found muscle, and he didn't go to Walmart. He went to Target. And
he got quality muscle.
And Braun Breaker in a hoodie spears the tribal chief.
In half.
Beautiful,
beautiful spear. Roman sells it like he just got destroyed
Yep.
by Roman. Not for nothing. Roman's a great seller. Like
Yes, he is.
Roman sells like he really is dying in the ring. Braun Breaker's in there.
And
Roman
then
rolls out of the ring.
Punk eats one.
Did he spear him? He
Yep.
speared Punk too?
He speared Punk, and then Punk ate a curb stomp.
A stomp. Yeah, he ate a stomp.
Punk got, and then it didn't look like, Seth kind of looked a little like, oh no, what's happening? Until he went up behind him and hugged him and then pointed at the tribal chief laying on the ground. And Braun rolled out of the ring and does what only Braun can do now. Ran around that ring at 1,000 miles an hour and put Roman Reigns through the barricade. Just destroyed him.
As he should. I can't wait for that match. That is a match that got teased. I think at the Rumble, they teased the Braun and Roman interaction.
I mean, if you go back to 2024, you see Paul Heyman in a backstage segment meeting Braun Breaker and shaking his hand. So now we have Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins.
The architect.
And Seth what Rollins. Some people are calling the Dangerous Alliance 2.
Don't say 2. Just call them the Dangerous
That's
Alliance.
Fine.
It's okay.
What if there's two more little pieces as we wind down? What if they add Becky Lynch to that? I wouldn't be mad at that.
I think they will.
Or what if this isn't a Dangerous Alliance, but it's more of like another version of Evolution? And I saw this online also. This isn't me. This is online. But Absolutely. You have Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and they need another young guy. Why not Austin Theory?
Not Austin Theory.
Why not though?
Austin Theory is a magnet of nothingness.
But look what it did. Look what that did. Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista, and Orton. Look what it did to Orton and Batista. It lifted. I mean, Orton was already going up, but this really helped Orton and brought him to a level that he is now. Why not Austin Theory? Why not Austin Theory with Paul Heyman behind him and Seth Rollins helping him? Maybe they steer him in the right direction and they get what they wanted out of him all along. I don't think Triple H likes him too much, personally.
I don't think Austin Theory's the guy, man. Everything about I just don't think he's the guy, man. I think there's too much already. Like he's gone nowhere with Grayson Waller.
No, because it's an awful tag. It's an awful tag team.
It is, but like getting people to they tried everything with Austin.
I know.
He's already I feel like he's already had his shots. I don't know who be the young guy. I mean, NXT has a billion young guys who
Becky
could jump into that.
Becky adding to it. I mean, they don't have stables with men and women, and they should, because it just elevates the women. Now, it doesn't need to be Becky, no, but she's Seth's,
Yeah, Seth's wife. Yeah,
it works.
She makes sense. Like her and somebody else, they can have you can have more. I mean, you can do this.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be traditional. I mean, if they put Austin Theory in there, I'm not mad because I like Austin Theory. I think he has tons of potential. I just don't think people are really buying him. I don't know why though, because he has the look, he has everything. He can talk. He's not the best talker, but
no.
He's decent. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of Curtis Axel, right? The guy who can go.
Yeah, okay.
And not even Heyman could elevate him. Like it just you have those people. And everybody loved Curtis Axel. Like everybody was talking about, he's gonna be the next Paul Heyman guy. And he was, and it just didn't work. No. I really don't know who that third guy could be. I think Becky would be a great fit because of obvious reasons, but I have to think about that. For the next show, I'll have a third guy.
I think I know who attacked Bailey, though.
Who is it?
It was Rikishi. It was Rikishi.
I believe that.
Rikishi did it for The Rock.
What if it was Naomi? What like
I
just
mean,
randomly it just she was in my way and I just attacked. Like she got too close. I don't know. But man, we've gone 2
yeah,
hours.
we have. Oh my goodness.
This man, we've gone 2 hours and I mean we could probably talk some more. There's a lot uh there's a lot coming out of WrestleMania to be desired with the product, but there's a lot so much potential because this is a loaded roster with some great wrestlers, some great
Yep.
superstars. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. I'm really interested to see what happens on SmackDown, because Cena is the last real champion.
He
Are they
is.
gonna create a new championship? Are they gonna have a tournament for it? Like, where do we
That's
go from here?
that's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's retiring that belt and then kind of taking Cody's name off of that belt and keeping his name on the belt. You know,
I think
maybe they
that's
go
a
back.
good way to go.
Maybe they go back to the one belt. I don't see them doing that. There's too much talent on the roster right now.
Yeah, no, they can't do that.
And you know, there's going to be a draft at some point, and I don't know. Maybe they make a new belt, make it cooler.
Yeah, I wish they would go back to the winged eagle like
I wish
that.
they would go back to the winged eagle, or I wish they would bring back the WCW big gold belt. I love that belt.
I mean, that's too close to the World Heavyweight Championship, though.
It is.
That was like a riff off of that. In total honesty, I think we should keep Cody away from the belt for a little while.
I think Cody should be Cena's final match coming back to the light.
Yeah. And then Cody turns. And then Cody turns and he becomes Homelander finally.
Well, we're going to talk about that on the next show. There's a couple
we're going to talk about that because that interview today pissed me off.
Me too.
But on that note, thank you so much to everyone who stopped by the Island of Relevancy. All of you, if anybody hung out for this whole 2 hours, bless you. Because I'm just scrolling over things. We had Matt. I appreciate you for being here. Just Rid popped in here earlier. He was a Drew McIntyre fan, apparently. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Ace Avenue always stops by and show love. He said he was going to take a nap, but he stayed up just to make sure he showed us some love.
I appreciate you, all of you.
And yeah, everybody who stopped by, we appreciate you. We will be doing this again next week. Hopefully SmackDown gives us some more answers, some more WrestleMania fallout. And until then, I mean, we'll catch you next time. And hold up, let me make sure I can actually close this thing out. 2 hours and 2 minutes.
That's fine.
Frank, you're the man.
I love it.
You're the man.
Thank you, T.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week on the Island Relevancy podcast. Until next time, enjoy wrestling.